9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now, here's your host.
Well, I believe that little ditty was for me, in fact. At least, I think. No, I am. It's good to be here. I'm live from San Antonio. It's December 4th, 2017. You're listening to Brian's podcast. Coming to you from San Antonio. Of course, podcasts are picked up everywhere, usually. But if you're out there and listening, it's the last month of 2017. Let's just hope 2018 does not end up as bad or as much bloodshed as this year has had. It's been a very tragic month, actually, a very tragic year, not counting highway deaths. Well, if you're out there and you're listening, it is December, part of the silly season. I call it the silly season because you get to watch characters when they're at the malls or you're out shopping for your gifts for your family. Beware, people. Beware your surroundings. Keep your eyes open. Oh, one more important thing. Don't leave your items that are valuable in eyesight in your vehicle if you're parked in a public parking lot like the mall or the stores. People have no qualms. They'll steal them. They don't care who you are, where you come from, or whatever. So just beware of that. There are certain people out there that might want to try to ruin Christmas. They've already ruined enough families with the mass shootings and the bloodshed, so I feel sorry for those people. I did a very sad report a few weeks back on the mass church shooting in southern Texas, which killed 26 and injured 11 others. This one day last week, he buried parts of his family, the 9 people that died, which was half of his family, which I can't imagine being easy, but we didn't come here to discuss that. It's Christmas time. Be careful if you're shopping. I hope you guys enjoyed your long weekend, Thanksgiving, or actually that was a couple weeks ago, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed and didn't eat too much. And if you ate too much, well, it's the holidays. You can make up for it in 2018. How many people make New Year's resolutions? And if you do you stick to it? Do you fall through? Some people do. Some people try. Some people fail. Some people just don't bother. Either way, I make traditions, but I stopped only because I usually don't ever get around to actually doing it, unfortunately. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. Of course, I'm still here, so it can't be wrong. We are going to do this podcast. I found a podcast back in 2010. It's Christmas stories. How many of you have traditions in your family, Christmas traditions or holiday traditions that you do every year that probably wouldn't feel right if you skipped a year? But it's always good to change it up. You gotta be different. Be out there, well, don't be like me, because believe me, I'm out there in that field, although some of my ideas work, some don't. Depends on how you look at it. But yeah, we're going to do that. There are a couple people want to share their memories and their stories of the joy, doubt, hope, and emotions that come about. Everything replays in you. Everything takes a time to heal. But there still might be traditions in your family that you do, or want to do, or hope to do, or hope to do again, in fact. And if there is, I'm here to tell you that it might be possible. But get the whole family involved. Take a good look at your review, and then take a look at it right at this moment. And I'm thinking about some of the things I've talked about in these podcasts. Think about the horrible thing I have to talk about when mass shootings happen. Vegas, all over. And then in southern Texas, only about 30 miles southeast of here. So, either way, it's not fun. Not counting the highway deaths, which are 2,961. Actually, no, it's 3,069 now, if I remember correctly. But that's another story. Unusually warm weather, at least here. I'm not sure if it's Christmas yet or winter. I think Texas missed out somewhere. Yeah, well, that's Texas for you. But let's just do this. We'll get into more coming up later this month. We're going to be doing our special tribute to Christmas. We're going to start right here. We're going to have a night of music, Christmas carols. If you want to call in and make a request, or you have a song idea, or, I don't know, maybe you want to play a song. Maybe you want to share a memory or a tradition, you can do so. You can call me at 210-708-8701 anytime, usually. We can chat live right here while on air. Now, you don't have time to watch it. You're not up at 10 minutes to 2 in the morning. Well, probably not because you have to go to work, but anyway, that's another story. You can still catch this podcast anytime you like it. www.speaker.com/user. And it's Christmas story /traditions. I hope everybody remembers not to forget your loved ones, your family, or their thoughts and feelings. Don't take them for granted. You never know when something horrible is going to happen, or they'll lose their life naturally. Either way, it's hard. But we're going to talk about traditions. It might be a good podcast. It is an hour long. It's a special wistfulness of joy, doubt, hope, and emotions. So if you got sensitive emotions, maybe you want to get a box of Kleenex or something of that nature. It might be a little rough for you. Although I can't think of too many Christmases where it was that horrible for me, but they're out there. Just remember that. They're out there. We're going to sit here and listen to this podcast here. And I do believe, if I remember correctly, it's Lynn Neary. She's the host of NPR. And she is going to be sharing Tinsel Tales, NPR Christmas stories, and hopefully traditions there at the office. So sit back, relax, let's hang out and enjoy. It is December 4th, 2017. If you're not shopping, or you are, good luck and be safe.
I'm Lynn Neary with Tinsel Tales, a collection of Christmas stories from the NPR archives.
The day after Christmas a number of years ago, I was driving down a country road in Texas. It was a bitter cold, cold morning.
22,000 people came to see Santa today, and not all of them were well behaved. Today I witnessed fistfights and vomiting in magnificent tantrums.
But there was a white candle burning in every window, and Maureen said, "I hope Mummy's asleep." And Dr. Graham said, "We're going to sing a carol for your mother."
Voices of public radio, past and present, with stories of Christmas in the hour ahead on Tinsel Tales from NPR. Our first story comes from producer Jay Allison. His father used to record the family's Christmas dinner, which provided the inspiration for this story, originally broadcast on All Things Considered in 1997.
Every year, my father would go get Uncle Sam at the Delaware State Hospital and bring him home for Christmas dinner. Toward the end of the meal, Sam would become agitated and begin to tremble. He'd rush to my father's side and whisper to him. When Dad answered, Sam would nod his head over and over, his eyes focused on the rug. After we finished dinner, Sam, my father would say. Okay, righto, Peter, right you are, Sam would answer, nodding.
Good evening. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Samuel Gregory Hope, who is with us this evening.
When dinner was done, Sam would go to the head of the table and stand. He was over 6 feet 5 inches tall, almost as tall as my father.
And Mr.
Dad would hand him a beer
Hope
bottle or a candlestick to hold like a microphone. Sam liked to sing as though we were on the radio.
We will all enjoy hearing Mr. Hope's voice in a special Christmas broadcast, 1961.
Once in a while, Dad gave Sam a real microphone and recorded him on the old woolen sack.
Now, Mr. Hope, I will turn the loudspeaker over to you, and we stand in anxious excitement to hear the sounds which you are about to produce.
In a lower key, all right? Won't you sit down? You make me nervous. You'll follow me. All right. Ready?
They grew up on a farm in rural Virginia. Sam followed my father everywhere. He would show up on my father's dates. He shadowed him around town. Dad once said that he was sometimes embarrassed by his retarded older brother and tried to give him the slip, running away to hide in the fields before going to town alone. Eventually, Sam became my father's responsibility. He lived in halfway houses or institutions all his adult life. Dad set things up for him, gave him what he needed, and took care of his problems, which were many. When Sam died, my father took him back home to Virginia. Someone else owns their old farm in Orange County now. My father doesn't like to trespass, so once in the pasture, he wants to be done with it. He walks along the creek, face forward, sprinkling Sam's ashes from the urn. But there's a wind that day, and it won't let the ashes rest. It lifts them up instead. My father looks around, sees Sam's ashes blowing toward him, and in an effort to avoid them starts to trot away. Slowly at first, still emptying the urn behind him. The wind picks up and carries Uncle Sam. He rises in a cloud. Dad turns again, sees him gaining, and speeds up. He favors his bad leg, but he's running hard now, Uncle Sam right behind him, following him through the fields where they grew up. When it was over, my father drove the station wagon back to Delaware with the empty urn on the front seat.
Thank you, Mr. Hope, in all the long history of the Delaware Avenue Music Hall.
When Sam finishes, we all clap for him. He bows his head. He's not humble, but appreciative. Pretty good, huh, Peter? He says to his little brother when he looks up. Yes, Sam, pretty darn good. Want another one? Why, sure, Sam. How about Silent Night?
Now with the Christmas season upon us, we have an appropriate song. Silent night,
Across the dinner table, I watch. Sam's eyes are closed, his chin held high, lit from underneath by the candles on our Christmas table. Then, as he sings, his eyes open, fixing my father, asking him something. My father meets Uncle Sam's gaze and nods, the two of them loving each other, locked in brotherhood.
Jay Allison is a longtime journalist and documentary producer for public radio and television. He lives in Woods Hole, Massachusetts.